If you've been charged with a DUI or DWI in New Jersey, the first question you're probably asking is, am I going to lose my license? And for how long? See, DUI penalties in New Jersey are confusing, and there's different rules for different BAC, blood alcohol content levels. Plus, there's different rules depending on whether this is your first, second, or third offense, and no one breaks it down in plain English. And not only do they not break down the penalties for DUI, but they don't break down the penalties for violations of a DUI sentence. So for instance, if you start driving while your license is suspended for a DUI, that is a separate charge of driving while suspended for a DUI. That's an enhanced charge that comes with additional license suspension and mandatory jail time. In fact, there's more jail time associated for driving while suspended for a DUI than there is for getting a DUI. Plus, these consequences are mandatory and judges are not lenient on violations of DUI law. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the exact suspension timelines for DUI in New Jersey, show you what impacts those timelines, and explain how to avoid the most common mistakes people make. Hi, I'm Daniel M. Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney and a partner at Rosenberg Parent Associates, and I represent individuals across the state of New Jersey who are charged with not only criminal charges, but DUI offenses. And we help individuals fight the DUI charges, avoid jail time, and protect their license. All right, so let's get started and break down what the penalties are for an alcohol-related DUI in the state of New Jersey. I'm gonna break this down in plain English so it's not confusing. In a first offense DUI, there are 3 separate tiers depending on what your blood alcohol content is, or your BAC. If your BAC is above the legal limit of 0.08 but below 0.10, there is a mandatory loss of license until you install the ignition interlock device for a period of 90 days. Now, second tier DUI is when there's a BAC of 0.10 up to 0.15. And this comes with a license suspension until you install the ignition interlock device for a period of anywhere from 7 months being the mandatory minimum up to 1 year. Now, a third tier DUI is where you have a BAC of 0.15 or above, and this comes with a 4 to 6 month loss of license, followed by the ignition interlock device for a period of 9 to 15 months after your driving privileges have been restored. Now, these are all alcohol-related first offense DUI. If there is a drug-related DUI, there are no tiers. It is 7 to 12 month loss of license, no interlock device requirement. But these are all first offenses. What if it is a second or subsequent offense? Well, the fines and penalties are significantly different. Now, on a second offense DUI, it doesn't matter what your BAC is. The suspension time is the same, 1 to 2 year loss of license. It also comes with a mandatory 2 to 90 days in jail. And once you get your driving privileges reinstated, there's a requirement of a minimum 2 to 4 year interlock device requirement. An interlock device on your car where every time you get into your car, you're driving to work, you're driving to kids, you're going on a date, you're blowing into a machine just so your car will start and stay running. So if this is your third or subsequent DUI, the fines and penalties skyrocket. First and foremost, you're going to jail for a mandatory 6 months with no parole. You're also looking at 8 years mandatory loss of license, followed by 2 to 4 years of the interlock device installed in your car. See, most people don't think that DUI or the consequences are that big a deal, but they are so significant because they never go away and the consequences stack on top of each other. So if you're driving while your license is suspended for a DUI, there's mandatory jail time associated with that. The minimum is 2 days, the maximum is 18 months in state prison. That's just for driving. And if you're required to have the interlock device in your car and you're driving, I don't know, your friend's car down to 7-Eleven and you get stopped and there's no interlock device, that's a criminal charge in and of itself. These things don't go away and they're expensive on top of everything else. Do you know the average cost of an interlock is $125 a month? So 3 months, 4 months, a year, 4 years, these costs add up. So this is exactly why you need an experienced criminal defense attorney representing you on DUI charges. What we do is we analyze your case and put you in the best position for the best result to minimize all the consequences. We can also give you advice and guidance on new changes in the law. For instance, until recently, you could never avoid a license suspension, but now with the interlock device, you can potentially reduce or completely avoid a license suspension, but you need to do it in the appropriate way and follow the appropriate channels. For instance, you can't just install the interlock device requirement. You have to go to motor vehicle and have your license endorsed. There's so many people that don't know what they're doing. They install the interlock device, they have it on for months, and then they don't get any credit for it because they didn't do it the right way. We're not just watching your case or shepherding you through the process. We're orchestrating your exit strategy from the moment you are charged and putting you in the best position for the best possible result. Most people and attorneys just react to whatever the court and the police throw at them. We don't. We preempt it. We see every possibility and penalty coming down the pike before it happens. We stay ahead of the suspension timeline, give you clarity, and avoid legal landmines that you didn't even know existed. So if you or someone you know is in this situation and has been charged with a DUI in New Jersey, and you don't want to be guessing and wondering what the hell's going to go on for the next year, contact our office.